Nerd. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. I guess I'm starting to do more of these little live streams. I mean, what else am I going to do while Jenny is shopping? I like sitting out in the car, checking messages and comments and stuff like that, but it's kind of been a while since I've been doing like all these like live streams in the parking lot of different stores and locations. So I just had a thought. I was thinking about the fact that, you know, July was like really crazy. It seemed like just everything was popping off in July. That's when we had the assassination attempt on Trump. That's when we had Hurricane Beryl, and there's just all sorts of things going on. The last day of the month, that's when you know, you had that one individual. I gotta be careful of that one individual that was killed in Tehran, which we're still kind of waiting to see what the full response is going to be to that. I thought that things were going to just take off pretty quick after that. You know, I think a lot of people did. There were all sorts of rumors about, oh, Iran is going to do this within the next 24 hours. They're going to do it this next weekend. But here we are, almost a full month later, and nothing has happened except for what Hezbollah calls its first phase in its response to Israel. So it just turned out like, I don't know about you, I mean, put it in the chat or the comments if you're watching this after the fact. I don't know about you, but it just seems like this month has been pretty quiet on all fronts. Like, there hasn't been anything like really big. It was this time last year that we were talking a lot about wildfires, because I don't remember the exact day, but it was August of last year that Lahaina got burned down, and there were other like major wildfires going on around the world. But this year, not so much. Texas saw its largest wildfire in state history, but I'm not aware of any other like record-breaking wildfires. So it's been dramatically different this August than it was last August. I feel like things are winding up as far as, you know, the elections that are approaching in November. I do think that there was a reason why we had our first ever election day blood moon in 2022. If it's a sign for something, I feel like it'd be a sign for probably these very elections that are coming up in a few months. But August for me, it seems like it's just been really quiet. You know, you can kind of see like the chatter start to go down in my inbox. You know, there just hasn't been a lot to report. There haven't been very many like signs in the heavens or things like that, like in months and years past. So take note of that. I know some people probably be like, well, it's calm before the storm, and that could be. I still think that the rest of the year is going to be pretty crazy, but we'll just have to wait and see how it shapes up. All right, we look at the chat here. It's Caitlin from Anticipating Christ's Return. Everybody make sure to subscribe to her, and make sure to watch the video that I published today, because the first part of it was basically like a blooper reel of us trying desperately to get the video going. Anyway, she says, I want to figure out how to do a live stream together. I know, me too. In fact, now that you bring that up, let me see if there's like any difference on like when I'm doing it mobile, if there's like any other options. Nope. No, there's no, wait, what's this right here? Give me just a second. No, that's just like a different filters. Here, let me try a different filter. I'll do 8mm. There we go. How's that? Does that liven up the stream? Let's go with this. Okay. Carrie Cottrell, the calm before there it is. Before I said it, Carrie Cottrell. The calm before the storm. President Nelson's birthday is next month, and General Conference is in about a month. I wonder if next month we can expect a lot to happen. Yeah, I think so. I think there's going to be a lot of buzz around that. Jessica from Higher Holier History, she pointed out to me, make sure to subscribe to her. It's Higher Holier History. She's in my featured channels list. But Jessica pointed out that the name of this upcoming broadcast is like, it says like a family meeting or something like that. Like it's, celebrating President Nelson's 100th birthday, a family get-together, or something like that. So that's kind of an interesting observation. Okay. And then, yeah, General Conference. I mean, every single General Conference, it feels like, for me, for the last, several, it just gets more and more interesting. This last one was just, again, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but it was just astounding how it started off with President Holland and what he said. So, I'll be looking forward to this General Conference, and, there's the whole thing with President Nelson's sevens that he's been doing, the 7 months in a row posting something on social media where he repeats a word or a phrase 7 times. The last time, on the 7th month, that's when the Kirtland Temple came back to the church. And then the month after that was this incredible General Conference. This time, it hasn't been 7 months in a row. I don't know if it's stopped. I don't know if it's going to continue. But if it was to continue going 7 months in a row, the 7th month would be November, the month after General Conference. So, I don't know. Just, we'll see what happens. Phil and Malia waits. I want to know what the message will sound like during conference in October. Yeah. It looks like President Holland is still doing okay. I haven't seen anything that he's not, so maybe he'll be able to speak again in this General Conference. And then I can only assume that President Nelson will probably continue the pattern of only speaking once, because that's how it's been for the last couple conferences. Alps Hiker, wish I could stay quiet. Sadly, it most like... Okay, wish it could stay quiet. Sadly, it most likely will not. Carrie Cottrell, September, President Nelson's birthday, October, General Conference, November, elections. Yeah. So... yeah. Do you guys agree that August has been quiet? I know that you watch other channels, and you watch other LDS channels as well as other non-LDS channels. I don't cover everything, so let me know if you agree that August has been quiet. Maybe that's just how I'm perceiving it. Phil Malia waits in September for President Nelson's 100th birthday. El Paculi, hey Jared, love the parking lot discussions. Well, good. I'm glad. I like them too. Tejiendo Fe en la Patagonia. Hi probably is because Iran is working on built acuerdos with China and Russia. It could be. Last I heard is that they're not going to do a large attack like last time. But that may just be a rumor. I don't know. Kaylin says, stop laughing. Great. Well, I'm glad that you brought that up, because now I'm probably not going to be able to not laugh. Oscar Machuca, hi Jared, September is going to be great. Seagull Lily, hey Jared, I've been thinking the same thing. Carrie Cottrell, I suppose the big thing that happened this month is temple endowment change. Yeah, that was pretty significant. Ginger S, reminder, hit the like button. Yeah, everybody hit the like button. There's 119 people watching, so please do that. It helps push the live stream out, and it recommends it to more people. Caitlin says, someone said that they were able to hear from President Nelson last night. That's hopeful, but I don't know if it was recorded or not. Yeah, I keep getting lots of different things, people saying things about President Nelson, and I think I'm just going to wait until official word comes out, because I hear things this way, I hear things that way about his health, and I should probably just wait and see from official sources how he's doing. Shiny Nickel RN, I just think the Lord is ramping things up. Yeah, I agree. I do. It just feels like it's been a slow August. So let's just do it. Okay, let me see if I can do a poll. Start poll. Okay, has August been a slow month for signs and world events? Question mark. Start poll. Okay, there. So the poll is in. It's in the chat. I don't know if you can like take the poll after the live stream is done. I don't know if it's just like a chat thing, but anyway, Caitlin says they said he said 5 things to prepare. Do it now. Time is of the essence. Oh my gosh. Are you going to do a video about that? That sounds really interesting. And I do believe that time is of the essence. I think that's probably why there was the temple change. I think they'll be able to squeeze in more sessions, you know? And people will be more likely to do more sessions because they're not as long. Okay. Shiny Nickel RN. I just came from the temple and I heard the workers say every session is full. Every session I've been in since May has been full. Well, that's good. That is really good. El Paculi, lots of fires in August, like hot August nights. Hopefully we don't see September fury. Yeah, I need to like check back in with like the fires. I know that there have been some big ones, but I haven't seen anything to suggest that there's like any record-breaking ones, and that's like what I pay attention to. If it's the largest or the most deadly or the most destructive, that's the best that I can do. Otherwise, I'd have to become like a wildfire channel, and I don't have time for that. But anyway, let's see. Jason Curl. So are you doing this live stream because you met 10,000 goal? No, this is just another one. Whenever I do that live stream, I'll have a thumbnail that clearly indicates that it's for the 10,000. Caitlin says she didn't say what the 5 things were. Dang it. Well, I'll bet one of those things was gathering scattered Israel on both sides of the veil. Okay, let me see. There's 22 responses right now for the poll, and the question was, has August been a slow month for signs and world events? 64% say yes, and then 36% say no. So if you answered no, just like put in the chat why you answered that way, and maybe like what I missed. Maybe I'll do a video about it, whatever I missed. Caitlin says, I'll ask her. Ginger asks, also a lot of people starting to publicly say that conspiracies aren't just crazy theories. Yeah, of course, it depends on which one you're talking about. The way that I experienced it was like in about 2016, 2017, like it feels like there was a lot of content about that. And a lot of people jumped on board, including myself. And I've looked at all of them and considered all of them. All of them. If you ask me like, well, what do you think about this? Have you heard of this? Have you heard of that? Yes. The answer is yes. It doesn't matter what you say. The answer is yes. And I've considered them all. And some I do think are valid. I'm like, yeah, that is definitely secret combinations at work. Other ones, not so much, because they seem to be simply like mostly supported by like little clippings of like movies or news stories, or just like very loosely put together things where it's maybe plausible, but it's just not solid enough to say that it actually is a plot of a secret combination. So I think we have to be careful. I think if we get too far into it, if we don't stay grounded, we can start to like not trust anything or anybody, you know, and get into like really black and white thinking, and it can bleed into the church itself, where we start to distrust church leadership. And I think a lot of people have gone that way, and it's not good, because the church is not going to allow, or the Lord is not going to allow the church to be led astray, because this is the last dispensation. The plan for this last dispensation is the church is going to survive into the millennium. It's the only dispensation that's not going to fall away into apostasy. Okay, oh my gosh, it's hot in here. It's 98 degrees outside. Okay, let's see. And Anticipating Christ's Return says, she did say, he said we need to learn from Captain Moroni. Seagull Lily, interesting. He's spoken on that before. So let's just talk about it. Let's speculate. Why do you think he would say that about Captain Moroni? Do you think it has to do with like standing up for your rights and freedom and family and faith and stuff like that? Like, do you think he's saying that because it's kind of like a political thing? We need to be more active politically to defend these institutions, family and church? That's my best guess. Phil Amalia waits. Last Saturday I hit over 1,000 temple ordinances completed. Oh my gosh. I dedicate those to President Nelson for his 100th birthday. Well, that's awesome, but why wasn't it 100,000? Because he is turning 100, Phil and Malia waits. Jeez. I'm just kidding. Storm and Life Crisis is there. I felt impressed to start up a YouTube channel, especially after attending the temple recently and experiencing the updating of the endowment session. I'm starting with Articles of Faith. Awesome. Good job. We need more voices. We need that because there are too many channels that are hostile toward the church, and so we need more church channels, and we need to be united and support each other and be examples of what it is to be a disciple of Christ. We need to band together. And yeah, HTEB 1974 says earthquakes, and then the like assassination attempt, but that was back in July. I'm talking about August though. I mean, there's been earthquakes, but I don't know that there's been any like really notable earthquakes in terms of like damage or casualties or anything like that. There was potential for one. There was the first ever megaquake advisory for Japan, and I was thinking that it was going to happen, but it didn't. The advisory went for like a week. The Japanese Prime Minister canceled a trip that he was on, but the earthquake did not come, thankfully, for Japan. Seagull Lily in Embracing the Future with Faith. Feel free to take the poll if you're just joining. The question is, has August been a slow month for science and world events? And if you feel like it has not, then let me know why that is, because I may have missed something, and I would love to do a video about anything that seems significant. Dean TK421 from the Death Star says 105 here today. That's really hot on the Death Star. The life support systems must be down. Shandy Muir says it's not our job to study the ark. Yeah, you mean like we need to stay in our lanes, right? We need to be a good example and be loving, and that which is the responsibility of priesthood leaders, leave it in their hands, whether it's local leaders or the leadership of the church, the prophet, apostles, 70s. Yeah. Okay, Seagull Lily says, principle number 1, create places of security. Number 2, prepare your mind to be faithful to God. Number 3, never stop preparing. And what's 4 and 5? Phil and Malia Waits is laughing at me telling her she needed to do 100,000 to celebrate President Nelson's 100th birthday, not just 1,000. But she says that 100,000 will be her new goal. So, all right, so I did my part by doing this live stream. I did my good deed for the day. The Haystack, the oldest man alive, just turned 112. And then Quake in Kansas City and in Oklahoma today. Oh, I haven't heard about that. I will say this, like, there's been some, like, it feels like there's been, like, some earthquake activity that's, or, like, the earth has been doing things that's kind of notable. And it's kind of hard to connect them together, but I feel like there's been, like, this little cluster of, like, earth events. Like, you had, like, this, there was kind of like this pyramid structure in Mexico that, like, collapsed, or, like, part of it collapsed. At the same time, around that same time, there were, I think, 2 arches in Utah that collapsed. I think there's been a couple earthquakes in Israel. So there's been, like, kind of like that kind of thing, but it hasn't been, like, overly dramatic. But I don't know, it kind of feels like the earth is doing something, or maybe all these things are just completely separate, but they're happening in a cluster. Wendy Ray, the cyclone in Japan today seems pretty serious. Oh my gosh, Japan just can't get a break. I haven't heard about that cyclone, so I'll have to check it out. Dean TK421 says, I think August was very busy politically worldwide, especially if we consider where we are in the Book of Mormon as a foreshadow. Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of things on X about Trump campaigning and Kamala Harris and, you know, all this stuff. I have a hard time following it. Not that it's difficult, but, like, I don't have much interest in it. I guess I feel kind of jaded when it comes to politics these days. I just feel like however things go down in November, I feel like it's going to be big. I feel like we're watching, like, a slow-moving train wreck. I think it's going to be, like, really bad and really ugly. And whatever it is, it's probably going to be some big sign that is, you know, is in the lead up to the second coming. We'll see what happens. Seagull Lily, those are the 3 principles from President Nelson's talk on how Moroni's example can help us prepare for the second coming. Okay. All right, cool. John P., I hear there is unrest in England lately. Yeah, there has been. I know that they've, I know that there's been, like, a lot of violence on the streets and attacks, like what you just said. They're having an issue with that, that's for sure. There was a time that I wanted to, like, last year, I was trying to, like, keep track of, like, protests and flooding and major earthquakes. I was trying to keep track of it on, like, a spreadsheet as well as on Google Earth, but it just, like, got to be too much. Like, there's only so much I can do. I wish there were more hours in the day, and I wish I was a robot so I could cover all these things. There's, like, so many data points. And trying to keep up with like the flooding and stuff last year, I felt like was very eye-opening. One of the things that came out of that was there was this storm called Storm Kieran. It wasn't like a hurricane or like a cyclone or whatever you want to call it, but it was there was a lot of force to it, and it hit Europe, and it caused like flooding in different places in France and Italy, and I think in Switzerland, and even a little bit of the UK, if I remember right. And what happened is you had like this major storm, it caused a lot of damage, and then just like a month later, 1 month later, is when Elder Patrick Kieran was called to the apostleship. It was like the same name, and I don't think that was coincidence. Kieran was spelled differently, the way that the storm, like the way that the name was spelled, compared to how he spells his name, but it is the same name. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, let's continue. The haystack. We also just had Tisha B'Av and Tu B'Av these past couple weeks. Parallels the fall of King Noah and priests of Noah. Yeah, it's true. Although I mean that's these are holidays that happen every year. If there was something like really big that happened on those days, like some people, including myself, thought that maybe Iran would pick Tisha B'Av to attack Israel, but that didn't happen. Nathan Greer, it's all about the election at this point. The loser will not accept the results of the election. I for one will be making a larger than usual shopping trip before that week. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Nathan Shaw, late to join, but I think the update to the temple endowment presentation is a big sign this month. Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. I feel like it's a hastening of the work. Caitlin says, ooh, update about the temple. My friend is an ordnance worker, and she was talking to someone, and they were saying how it took us going to the temple for 20 years. Okay, wait. It took us going to the temple for 20 years to go learn the things that we can now go once and learn. And her friend said that she feels like it's because we don't have 20 years to learn the things we need to know. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Hastening. John P. And it seems things go bad in England. Government goes wild. It seems you can get arrested when you place on your social media. Tafiat, or Tafiat. Okay, I'm done posting about the Alaska landslide. Apparently we don't want to mention it. I don't even know what you're talking about. What is that? What do you mean? Alaska or Alexa? Okay, Shandy Muir. There were strange weather patterns scientists can't explain. Like what exactly? Like storms or tornadoes, hurricanes, derechos, or just like temperature? If you have like an article for that, feel free to send it to me. I'll take a look. Dean TK421. Sorry, the temp is 105 in Vegas, or perhaps the Death Star. Laugh out loud. Oh, is that what the sphere is? Is it really the Death Star masquerading as like a new attraction? The haystack. Recently, a lot more social media posts by President Oaks and Elder Bednar. Others too, but those two specifically. Yeah, there's been interesting posts. I've covered some of them already. I'm really interested to see who's going to be talking this next general conference, and because last conference you had 3 of them in wheelchairs, right? Wasn't it 3? You had President Nelson, President Eyring, and President Holland all in wheelchairs. So my best guess is that they'll probably talk. It'll probably be the same thing. Maybe President Oaks will be in a wheelchair this time. Just kidding. I don't know. He seems like he's doing pretty well. But he is in his 90s. He just recently turned 92, I think. Is that right? It's like 92 or 93, but I think he turned 92. This year, it was actually the day before Tisha B'Av. That's when his birthday was. The stylist crew, the stylist corner says the calm before the storm. Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. There was at least like one person that had said that. Okay, so now there's 54 votes. The question is, has August been a slow month for science and world events? And it's 63% says yes, and then 37% says no. Yeah, I don't know. This year's just been different for me. I think the big thing is like not doing that spreadsheet anymore, trying to track all the floods and stuff. It just got too monotonous, and there's just like so many. I wish I had more data going back, many years, so I could be like, oh yeah, what's going on right now is just like totally out of the ordinary. I tend to think that there is, just because I don't remember seeing so much flooding in these like European cities, for example, but I can't say for sure. Okay, well, I think I'm going to wrap it up now. I need to call some people, but thank you for joining. And let's see, John Oregon, your recent video about priestcraft was excellent. I needed to hear that. You have excellent points. Well, thank you. There's an article. Go to the church website, just look up the word priestcraft, and there's this article about, it's called The Dangers of Priestcraft. And the church explains what priestcraft is and what it isn't. You don't need to go to these people that put their own private interpretation of the scriptures and then like make content about that. Go to the church. See what the church says. It's called The Dangers of Priestcraft, and there's quotes from prophets about that. It's about where your heart is, what your motivation is. With this channel, I have so much passion for it. I hope that you can see that, and I'm trying to do the most good that I possibly can, and I think a lot of other YouTubers are as well, and I support them. Even if I feel like they may have some things off, or I don't like how they do things, that's okay. Like, we shouldn't judge each other. We have much bigger problems, and those problems are these different channels that are hostile toward the church. So let's unite and let's think about that and support each other. It's like how President Nelson, in his recent talk, Peacemakers Needed, I feel like that needs to be reviewed by many, many people. He talks about the fact, like, if you think that somebody's doing something wrong, like a missionary comes home early from his mission, or you have a young couple in your ward that gets divorced, they do not need your judgment. It's not your place to judge. You don't go around to people that smoke cigarettes or have tattoos and say, you're doing something wrong. You know that's not right to defile your temple. We don't do that, you guys. We don't do that. So if you think somebody's doing something wrong, the best thing you can do is like be a good example yourself of what you think is right to your best understanding. If you're a content creator, make videos that like affirm your position without attacking others. Don't do that. That's not right. Okay, now I need to go. Jenica's back. It's hot. I want to like start going because then the air conditioner is going to be working better. I'm gonna have to take a shower when we get home. That's the only problem with doing drives. I usually get hot and sweaty, then I have to go home and take a shower. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later.